The New York Giants have signed an outside linebacker, and they have cut 2 players. We'll break that down on today's video. And then we got to talk about Andrew Thomas, the star left tackle. He played last week through a serious knee injury. And my question is it time to shut him down and get ready for next season? And also, we've got a couple of words from Daniel Jones on when he is going to undergo ACL surgery. We're going to break that down and more on today's video. But first, make sure you are subscribed. Sub for Giants dubs and free videos every day. The New York Giants have signed outside linebacker Benton Whitley off of the Minnesota Vikings practice squad. He was a UDFA out of Holy Cross coming out of the 2022 NFL draft cycle, and he spent time in his rookie season with the Chiefs and the Rams. Last week, the Giants, they had a player signed off of their active roster. He was stolen. He was an outside linebacker. So what Whitley is going to be able to replace him and just be kind of, I would say, depth as well as special teams health. Benton Whitley, though, he had pretty good college career. You look at what he did at Holy Cross. He was the All-New England 2021 team, first team All-Patriot League in 3 straight seasons, second team in 2019. He won the Connor Award, which is kind of just like a sportsmanship and just a good guy award. And also All-Patriot League first team in 2021. Only played in 1 game with the Minnesota Vikings this year, and he played 6 special team snaps in that game. So that's where I think he's going to help out this team. And really at the outside linebacker position, the Giants were running thin. Kayvon Thibodeau, obviously there. Azeez Ojulari there. You got Jihad Ward there, who really is more so just an edge, but he has to play outside linebacker. You got Boogie Basham. Now Benton Whitley is going to join that crew as the Giants now have 5 players at that position. He will provide depth as the Giants are somewhat thin there, and we know Azeez Ojulari is an injury-prone player, so at any time they could need for Whitley to go in. And also he's going to give you some special teams help. At this point in the season, you're just looking for healthy bodies. And any guy that's kind of done anything in this league, and the fact that he has special team experience under his belt is going to help him find a spot on this team, maybe even be a difference maker on the special teams department. Let's welcome him to the squad, though. Welcome Benton Whitley to the squad. Coming from the Vikings to the Giants. Patrick Seatman told me he was pretty upset about this one. Said he liked the upside of Benton Whitley. I'm excited to see him play potentially this Sunday. Type those BWs down in the comment section right now. Coming up next, the Giants have released 2 players. We'll talk about Andrew Thomas. I'll share my opinion on the sprained MCL, and then Daniel Jones and his surgery date coming up. But I got to first tell you about our proud sponsor of today's video, and that is Game Time, the #1 ticketing app in the game, and it's the easiest and best way to find the cheapest seats. Download the Game Time app. Just go into your app store, type in Game Time, and if you use the promo code GIANTSCHAT, Game Time is going to get you $20 off your first purchase. It's the best seats, lowest prices guaranteed, and what I love is prices drop as the events get closer. Lowest price guaranteed. Another big feature that I'm a fan of is when you're going to buy these tickets, you get to see your seat from the venue. You get to see what you're going to be looking at if you do buy those tickets. It's not just Giants games. You can buy Knicks games. You can buy Nets games, Rangers games, Islander games, college football, college basketball, plays, theater events, and more are all available on the Game Time ticketing app. Just download it today. Go into the App Store, type in Game Time, use the promo code GIANTSCHAT. I want to give a huge shout out to them for sponsoring today's video. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code GIANTSCHAT for $20 off your first purchase. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. All right, the Giants actually just made 2 more roster moves as we were filming these videos. Deon Jackson was waived by the Giants, but he is going to be re-signed by the practice squad. And now you look at the running backs, it's going to be Saquon Barkley, Matt Breida, and Jashaun Corbin as the 3 running backs on the active roster, but the Giants could easily activate Deon Jackson as a Game Time elevation from the practice squad. The Giants also waived Joshua Miles off the active roster, but they did just sign him to the practice squad. So some roster shuffling going on today for Joe Schoen. Release Jackson, release Miles, but we're able to, after they cleared waivers, bring them back to the practice squad. So still with the team, but on the practice squad, not on the active roster. So you look now, who are the active roster offensive linemen? You got Andrew Thomas, you have Justin Pugh, John Michael Schmitz, Ben Bredesen, and a hurt right tackle in Evan Neal with Glowinski, Sean Harlow, Marcus McKeithen, and Tyree Phillips as your backup 4. Let's talk about, in my opinion, the best offensive tackle in the National Football League and the single most important player on this team. Andrew Thomas, he got hurt 2 weeks ago, played last week through a sprained MCL against the Washington Commanders. Sprained MCL is a very serious injury, and I'm just going to go out and say it. I am not against shutting Andrew Thomas down for the remainder of the season. The Giants need to have him healthy for next year. There is no need to risk further injury. Look, if you were in a playoff push, you were trying to stack wins, you're trying to get back to the top of the division and clinch a wild card spot at some point, sure, trot Andrew Thomas out there. But with a sprained knee, that's likely to be injured again. Any sudden movement could make that injury significantly worse. And the Giants need him healthy next year. We saw how different this team was from week 2 to week 9 when Andrew Thomas didn't play. There's a reason they gave him a $100 million contract. There's a reason he was an all-pro tackle last year. He is the single most important player on this team. We've seen the Giants win games without Daniel Jones. We've seen the Giants play without Saquon Barkley. We've seen him play without Andrew Thomas. And man, oh man, is it an ugly sight when he does not play. I would say that the Giants should rest him for the remainder of the season. Depends on how serious the injury is and how much it affects him and what the pain tolerance is, obviously, for Andrew Thomas. But on an outside looking in perspective, I'd sit him down for the remainder of the season and just get ready to go next year. No need to even run the risk of having a worse injury pop up. Daniel Jones, on the other hand, who is done for the season, will have surgery on his torn ACL this Wednesday, the day before Thanksgiving. He went on the Up and Adams show. Shout out to Kay Adams. Sup. And he said this, he'll undergo surgery 17 days after the injury, and he said it's an 8 to 10 month recovery period. That's obviously the low end of that range and would have him ready to start camp. The high end would have him extend his recovery process into the season. Shout out to Dan Duggan, best beat reporter in the game. So I want to compare Daniel Jones and his timeline to what other timelines quarterbacks have come back from when they have torn their ACL. Kyler Murray got hurt in week 14. He didn't come back until week 10 of the following season. Joe Burrow, I'm sure Daniel Jones is looking at Joe Burrow's timeline and saying, I can do that. Got hurt in week 11, came back, was ready to go week 1. Jimmy Garoppolo, on the other hand, he got hurt in week 3. It took him all the way to come back until week 1. Deshaun Watson, very similar timeline that Daniel Jones wants to be on. Hurt in week 9, but was able to play week 1. And you got a guy like Carson Wentz. His timeline was extremely quick. Week 14, came back week 3. So it is possible that Daniel Jones will be ready for week 1. I'm sure Daniel Jones will do everything possible, everything the trainers tell him to do to get his body to a point where it is ready to go and play football week 1 for the New York Giants. The question is, will he be ready? And will he even be the starting quarterback at that point? Giants are going to have to make a decision on the quarterback position this offseason. It's going to be a whole lot of fun to follow it. So I'll ask you this question. I want to get everyone's opinion down in the comment section. Will Daniel Jones be the starting quarterback next season for the New York Football Giants? Sound off for me. Type Y for yes, type N for no. I'm curious what everyone's got to say. As always, you can give me a follow over on Twitter at _MarshallGreen_. It's the number one place you could stay up to date with Giants news every single day. And I want to chop it up with more Giants fans. So give me a follow over there. We'll see you later.